For years, Dana Perino has been a beacon of ambition and grace. Her confident presence, sharp intellect, and polished demeanor became synonymous with strength and success in a demanding world. As the 26th White House press secretary under President George W. Bush from 2007 to 2009, Dana etched her name into history, becoming only the second woman to hold the role after D.D. Myers during the Clinton administration. Today, as a trusted political commentator on Fox News and a dynamic co-host of The Five, Dana continues to influence and inform millions. Behind the polished professionalism and her characteristic warm smile, however, lies a reality far more somber. For years, Dana has silently shouldered a deeply personal battle, her husband's deteriorating health. After keeping this struggle private, the resilient commentator finally shared the heartbreaking truth, and in this video, we'll walk you through it. But before we dive into this chapter of her life, let's step back and explore Dana's journey and the serendipitous way she met Peter, the man who has been by her side through it all. Dana Perino's journey started on May 9, 1972, in the quiet town of Evanston, Wyoming. Even though her family moved to Denver, Colorado when she was just 2 years old, Wyoming stayed close to her heart. Summers spent on her grandfather's ranch taught her the value of hard work, resilience, and the belief that no challenge was too big to face. Her grandfather's unwavering optimism became a part of who she was, shaping the grit she'd need later in life. Her father, Leo Perino, played a huge role in developing her sharp mind. Evenings often involved sitting together, reading newspapers, and talking through the day's big stories. But it wasn't just small talk. Her father challenged her to think critically and understand all sides of an issue before forming an opinion. This habit of thoughtful analysis would stick with her throughout her career. Dana took those lessons to Colorado State University, where she studied mass communication, political science, and Spanish. She didn't just stay in the classroom. She dove headfirst into the world of broadcasting. She worked for KTSC-TV, a Rocky Mountain PBS station, and juggled a grueling overnight shift at KCY-FM radio. Balancing schoolwork with 2 a.m. wake-up calls wasn't easy, but it toughened her up and showed her what she was capable of. Her ambitions didn't stop there. Dana earned a master's degree at the University of Illinois Springfield while reporting for WCIA, covering the hustle and bustle of the state capitol. The fast-paced, high-pressure environment taught her how to stay cool under fire, something that would become a signature strength in her career. From those small-town beginnings to the heart of Washington, D.C., Dana's path was built on resilience, curiosity, and a drive to understand the world around her. Her early experiences gave her the skills and confidence to navigate the challenges that came her way, setting the stage for her to become a respected voice in political media. After earning her master's degree and cutting her teeth as a reporter, Perino took a bold step into politics. For Dana, this was more than just a career move. It was a chance to be part of something bigger and make a real impact. Her first political role was as a staff assistant for Congressman Scott McInnis from Colorado. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave her a front-row seat to the inner workings of Capitol Hill. From handling schedules to managing endless details, Dana quickly learned that in politics, even the smallest tasks matter, and she made sure to do them well. Her hard work paid off when she was promoted to press secretary for Congressman Dan Schaefer, who was tackling big issues in energy policy. Suddenly, Dana was in the thick of it, dealing with complex topics that everyone had an opinion on. As you would expect, the pressure was real. Every word she wrote or spoke had to be carefully considered. However, instead of being intimidated, she leaned in. These early jobs weren't easy, but they taught Dana how to communicate clearly, stay calm under fire, and think on her feet. Every challenge was a lesson, every success a stepping stone. Little did she know, these skills would become the foundation for the high-profile career that lay ahead. When Congressman Dan Schaefer announced his retirement in 1998, Dana faced a big decision. She had been working hard in Washington, making her mark in politics, but instead of jumping straight into another role, she took a step back. She packed her bags and moved to the United Kingdom with her husband, Peter McMahon. It was a chance to breathe, reset, and see life from a different angle. Living abroad gave Dana time to reflect and refresh, but her love for politics never really left her. After 3 years away, Dana returned to Washington, ready to dive back into the action. In 2001, she took on a role as a spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Justice. She had to handle tough topics where every word mattered. The pressure was intense, but Dana's calm and steady approach helped her shine. By 2003, she was ready for the next step and joined the White House Council on Environmental Quality as Deputy Communications Director. This job was a game changer. Environmental issues are always tricky, and Dana had to find ways to explain complicated, often controversial topics. She quickly learned how to craft smart, clear messages while navigating the political maze. With time, her hard work and strategic thinking earned her a solid reputation within the White House. Dana's career was on the rise, but her biggest challenge was still ahead. In 2007, when White House Press Secretary Tony Snow stepped down, Dana was asked to step up. The role was huge, and the pressure was enough to make anyone second-guess themselves. Dana nearly walked away, but with a push from White House Communications Director Ed Gillespie, she decided to go for it. Even then, Dana struggled with self-doubt. In a world full of Ivy League graduates, she sometimes felt like she had to prove herself more than others. But instead of letting that insecurity hold her back, she used it to fuel her drive. She made sure she was always the most prepared person in the room, reading, researching, and honing her skills. Of course, Dana's time as White House press secretary for President George W. Bush was anything but easy. The job came with constant pressure, non-stop briefings, urgent decisions, and the need to stay composed while the world watched. The stress was relentless, and after leaving the role in 2009, it left a mark. Dana experienced 2 years of persistent tinnitus. One of the craziest moments of her tenure happened in 2008 during a trip to Iraq. While President Bush was giving a press conference, a journalist suddenly threw a shoe at MP. In the chaos, a Secret Service agent jumped in to protect the president and accidentally shoved a microphone into Dana's eye. She ended up with a serious bruise, but despite the pain, she kept going. No complaints, no fuss, just sheer determination to get the job done. After leaving the White House, Dana needed to figure out what was next. With some encouragement from Sean Hannity, she decided to jump into television at Fox News. It was a new world, but it came with its own set of hurdles. Some people didn't think she could transition from being a government spokesperson to being a fair political commentator. They labeled her as just another Republican mouthpiece. Dana didn't let those doubts define her. With her steady presence, smart analysis, and clear-headed approach, she slowly won people over. Shows like The Five and America's Newsroom gave her the chance to prove she was more than just a political insider. She became someone people trusted for her thoughtful takes, even when the news got messy. While Dana Perino was out there making power moves and building a stellar career in front of the cameras, behind closed doors, she was quietly facing some incredibly tough challenges. As she delivered sharp commentary and maintained her poised demeanor on screen, she was also shouldering the emotional weight of caring for her partner. You see, Dana and Peter's love story sounds like something out of a romantic movie. Dana wasn't exactly searching for romance when she boarded a flight from Denver to Chicago in August 1997. But fate had other plans. When she settled into her seat and found herself next to Peter McMahon, a charming Brit with a warm smile and a glint of curiosity in his eyes, her plans started to shift. The atmosphere in Washington, D.C. at the time felt pretty gross to her, and perhaps this meeting was the breath of fresh air she needed. Peter, who noticed the cute little blonde with the swinging ponytail walking ahead of him down the jetway, couldn't help but hope he'd be seated beside her. Luck was on his side. Dana, noticing his British accent, his lack of a wedding ring, and his undeniable charm, also thought he was interesting. Over the next 2.5 hours, their conversation flowed effortlessly, both hesitant for it to end. When the flight landed, Dana wanted to make sure Peter could reach her, but she wasn't about to seem too eager. So, in true Dana fashion, she handed him a card that included her phone number, office number, fax number, and email. Peter took the hint and emailed her, pouring out what he had been feeling since that first chat. 10 days passed before Dana checked her inbox. Those days were filled with anxious anticipation, where even eating and sleeping took a back seat to her swirling thoughts. Finally, she read his message, and their connection picked up right where it left off. They began racking up international phone bills as they bridged the gap between DC and the UK, until they decided to meet in New Orleans. Peter was giddy, arriving early to the airport and pacing like a teenager on his first date. Dana, heart pounding, knew she had to rush off the plane the moment it landed, or her nerves might get the better of her. Their whirlwind romance quickly gained momentum. Less than a year later, Peter proposed impulsively outside the Washington Cathedral, explaining that it was the only way they could truly be together. But Dana, ever thoughtful and deliberate, took her time to respond. Exactly 1 year after their fateful meeting, she handed Peter a letter. It was filled with reflections on their love, their time together, and her feelings. At the end, she gave him the answer he had been hoping for, and with that, they tied the knot. Ever since Dana and Peter tied the knot in 1998, their marriage has been a story of unwavering support and shared laughter. Peter wasn't just Dana's husband. He was her anchor, the person who could pull her back to reality with his humor and steady perspective, especially when the chaos of press briefings or the intensity of Fox News felt overwhelming. While Dana tackled the demands of public life, Peter was always there with a calming word or a witty remark to help her keep things in perspective. But even the strongest relationships get tested. Recently, Dana revealed that Peter has been facing some serious health challenges. She kept the details private, but her words made it clear that this wasn't just a minor bump in the road. For a couple that's always leaned on each other, this was a storm neither of them saw coming. Suddenly, the roles shifted, and Dana found herself not just balancing her career, but stepping into the role of Peter's caregiver. Managing both a high-profile job and caring for a loved one is no small task, and Dana had to find new ways to prioritize her time and energy. This chapter in their lives has been tough, no doubt, but it's also shown just how deep their bond goes. The challenges forced them to face fears and vulnerabilities head-on, but instead of breaking them, it brought them even closer. They leaned into their history of mutual respect and support, finding strength in the same humor and perspective that had carried them through before. Despite his health struggles, Peter has stayed positive and has continued to inspire Dana with his resilience and determination. Dana, on the other hand, has drawn from her own experiences, including a scare with a spot on her forehead that required early detection and treatment, to better understand what Peter's going through. That experience made her realize how fragile life can be, and deepened her commitment to savoring every moment together. Through this journey, they've learned that true love isn't just about sharing victories. It's about holding each other up when life throws its hardest punches. Without a doubt, Dana and Peter's journey together is a powerful testament to the strength found in love, partnership, and unwavering commitment. The road ahead may be uncertain, but their bond has proven time and again that when two people stand side by side, they can weather even the toughest storms. As a public figure, Dana constantly juggles the demands of her high-profile career with deeply personal struggles. Anchoring Fox News requires her to stay composed and focused, even when her world behind the scenes is anything but calm. This balancing act is no easy feat, Yet Dana has been remarkably transparent about her journey, allowing her audience to see beyond the polished TV persona. Her openness makes her relatable, showing that even those who seem to have it all together face moments of vulnerability and uncertainty. But while Dana invites glimpses of her personal life, she's also careful to protect Peter's privacy. This thoughtful boundary setting is a reminder that even in the public eye, some parts of life deserve to remain personal. It's this balance of transparency and discretion that resonates with her viewers, fostering a genuine connection built on authenticity and respect. As mentioned earlier, the strength of Dana and Peter's relationship is rooted in mutual support and trust. Through the highs and lows, Peter has always encouraged Dana to thrive in her career, offering the kind of steadfast support that allows her to spread her wings. In turn, Dana has shown her deep devotion, stepping up when Peter's health struggles emerged, proving that true partnership means being there not just for the victories, but for the challenges too. Peter's optimism and humor have always been a grounding force for Dana, as it helps her navigate the high-pressure environments of Washington and the media world. When life threw unexpected challenges their way, this bond didn't waver, it deepened. Together, they've shown that love is not just about joy and triumph, but about standing strong through the difficult moments too. It's about adapting, supporting, and finding strength in each other when life demands it most. In the end, Perino's story is one of balance, resilience, and authenticity, the kind of balance that feels almost impossible to pull off, yet she somehow manages to make it look natural. Whether she's handling intense political pressures, supporting her Peter through health challenges, or empowering young women, Dana's life is proof that success and staying true to your values can go hand in hand. Her books, And the Good News Is, and Everything Will Be Okay, also share pieces of this journey and the lessons she's learned along the way. Dana doesn't sugarcoat things. She talks openly about feeling out of place or insecure at times. Instead of framing success as something unattainable, she makes it clear that it's about showing up, learning, and not giving up. Her stories resonate because they're real, a reminder that effort and resilience matter more than perfection. Dana isn't just about sharing advice in books, though. Her Minute Mentoring program helps young women get quick, practical guidance to navigate their careers. She understands that not everyone has time for long mentorship sessions, so she offers the kind of advice you can absorb in just a few minutes. And sometimes, that's all it takes to spark change. Away from the spotlight, Dana finds peace in the quiet moments. She and Peter live in Bay Head, New Jersey, where life slows down and reconnecting is easier. Sure, they keep an apartment in New York City for work, but New Jersey is home. It's where she walks her dog Percy along the shore, loses herself in a good book, and recharges. These simple routines help her stay grounded, proving that even in a hectic life, there's room for calm and joy. Her love of books has become a huge part of who she is. Through her book club, she shares her favorite reads and dives into conversations with authors, creating a community of readers who find meaning and connection through stories. Her book, Everything Will Be Okay, is one she frequently recommends, especially for young women looking for a boost of confidence and direction.